about situational leadership. Let us go to the history of situational leadership. His theory developed in 1969 by Paul Hersey and Ken Blanchard. In this lesson, we will learn what situational leadership is, the different leadership styles under the theory, and we provided some examples. Situational leadership is a theory of leadership that is part of a group of theories known as contingency theories of leadership. Generally speaking, contingency theories of leadership holds that a leader's effectiveness is related to the leader's trait or behaviors in relation to different situational factors. According to situational leadership theory, a leader's effectiveness is contingent on his ability to modify his management behavior to the level of his subordinates' maturity or sophistication. Now we'll take care of situational approach to leadership. The theme in early approaches to understanding leadership was the desire to identify traits or behaviors that effective leaders had in common. A common set of characteristics provided proved to be elusive. However, researchers were continually frustrated by the lack of consistent support for their findings and conclusions. As a result, research began to focus on what style of leadership was most effective in a particular situation. Contingency or situational theories examines the fit between the leader and the situation and provide guidelines for managers to achieve this effective fit. The theorists in this section believe that managers choose leadership styles based on leadership situation. Managers adjust their decision making, orientation, and motivational approaches based upon a unique combination of factors in their situation. Characteristics of employees, type of work, organizational structures, personal preferences, and upper level management's influence. The three most well-known situational theories is Fiedler's contingency theory, which comprises of three elements: task structure, leader-members relations, and positioning power. And then comes Hersey-Blanchard's situational model. It is based on the amount of direction and amount of socio-emotional support, that is, relationship behavior, a leader must provide given the situation and the level of maturity of the followers. Task behavior is the extent to which the leader engages in spelling out the duties and responsibilities to an individual or group. This behavior includes telling people what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, and where to do it. In task behavior, the leader engages in one-way communication. And relationship behavior, on the other hand, is the extent to which the leader engages in two-way or multi-way communication. This behavior includes listening to, facilitating, and supporting employees, and maturity is the willingness and ability of a person to take responsibility for directing his own behavior. Employees tend to have varying degrees of maturity depending on the specific task functions, or objectives that they attempt to accomplish. To determine the appropriate leadership style to use in a given situation, a leader must first determine the maturity level of his or her followers in relation to the specific task. As employees' maturity level increases, a leader should begin to reduce task behavior and increase relationship behavior until his or her followers reach moderate maturity levels. As the employee move into above average maturity levels, the leader should decrease not only task behavior but also relationship behavior. So once maturity levels are identified, a manager can determine the appropriate leadership style, telling, selling, participating, or delegating. As we already have completed situation leadership theory, leadership behavior and style, now we are going to cover motivational levels. Leaders are role models who influence the culture, values, thoughts, and action. An action of the organization and its people. The leadership style practiced by managers greatly influence the performance and productivity at the workplace. The situation leadership model encourages managers to flexibly use their leadership style based on the situation and thus thereby achieve effective results both at the middle managerial level where leaders work closely with people and higher management level where leaders are responsible to a number of people. Their approach has an impact on the motivation levels of the organization. A leader needs to constantly inform him or herself of the motivational needs of the employees. One of the simple factor of success cited in the organizations is a motivated workforce. The four leadership style of telling, selling, participating, and delegating proposed in the situational leadership model can be used as per the motivational need of the subordinate. For example, for a senior manager who has been recently recruited and who boasts an illustrious career graph would need more responsibilities and opportunities to prove himself. For example, delegating to remain motivated. On the other hand, a fresher joining the organization may look at more telling and a little participative approach to keep him or her motivated. A leader has to carefully evaluate and then decide on the right approach for the subordinate. So we have another case studies in the next slide. We'll speak in the next slide about a junior when he joins an organization, how the situation leadership style should be followed. Situational leadership has all the more relevance when teams work together, especially across functions or locations. In these cases, the team members might be physically separated from the leaders and the work situations might rapidly change. In such cases, maintaining the involvement and motivation level of team members becomes important. To create a high performance team that works effectively, the style that the leader would have to choose may be unique for each team. Apart from this, a leader has to provide a vision to the people. It is the visions which help them direct and redirect their efforts towards it. In the recent time, when changes are rapid in the organizations, the leaders have to be fully sensitized to what style would work the best. Sometimes they might have to use a combination of styles to address issues effectively. For example, for a new change that is being introduced, the initial approach has to be selling. Where people are educated about the change, the next step becomes telling, where the people have to be instructed as to how the change will be carried out. When the change starts selling in and people adopt it, the, this style can become participating, where the people get an opportunity to partner in the change and take it ahead. The last change would then become delegating, when the changes can now be carried on by others. The ultimate aim of any leader is to smoothly arrive at a stage where he or she can easily delegate tasks without worrying about its completion or effectiveness. That is development levels. Why is it popular among managers? Now we'll talk about why situation leadership is uh, very popular among managers. Hope you have understood the motivation theory, situation leadership theory, leadership behavior and style, and motivational levels. Now we are coming to, and even development levels also has been very nicely explained. Now we are coming to why situation leadership is popular among managers. Faced with rapid changes and need for effective leaders, it is not necessary to reinvent leadership models and theory, as their classic models already existing are useful today as they were when they were first developed. So, 1 minute. Do you understand? Do you know what is this telling, selling, participating, and delegating? So I can give you simple idea what is this telling is all about. Little idea, brief idea on these four styles of leadership. Telling, at this level of situation leadership, the leader has to deal with employees that are not competent and are still unmotivated. This may have different causes. New or inexperienced employees are not capable enough to carry out tasks independently. It may be experienced as threatening when an employee is not competent enough to perform a task. This might cause him to postpone the task or do this unwillingly. Good instructions and monitoring of the entire work process would be the best style of leadership in this situation. This is also sometimes referred to as task-oriented leadership with little or no concern for human relationship and support. Second style of leadership is selling, or in other words, coaching. At this level of situation leadership, the employee have a desire to work independently, but they are not capable of doing this yet. They are employees who have not yet reached full maturity and are hindered by circumstances, for example, a change or a reform of the organization. This employee wants to set to work enthusiastically, but he cannot work independently because of his lack of skills and knowledge. A situation like this might make an employee insecure. By explaining his decision making and by listening to the employee and giving him undivided attention, the leader is guiding him. So this style can be compared to the consultative leadership style. Third is participative and supporting. That is, in other words, we call supportive. At this level of situation leadership, the employees are capable but temporarily unwilling. They are qualified workers, but because of the number of talks, they might get the idea that they are being inundated with work. This can make them insecure and reluctant. To take away this security, this insecurity, it is important that the leader confers with the employees and supports them in their work. By having employees participated in the decision-making process, acceptance will increase and employees will be able to work independently again. Then comes the delegating. At this level of situation leadership, the employees can and want to carry out their task independently. They have a high level of task maturity, as a result of which they need less support. Employees inform the leaders about their progress of their own accord, and at the same time they indicate when problems present themselves or when the work is stagnating. They become motivated because of their independence, and as a result a leader does not have to consult with them continuously. So that is why it's very popular among managers. So we'll now go to the next slide where we'll talk about another case study. Let us see. The case study is there. A new person joins your team and you are asked to help them through the first few days. You sit with them in front of a PC, tell them they need to create login accounts on various tools, push up to a meeting that at level D1, and you have adopted S4. Everyone loses because the new person feels helpless and unmotivated and they don't complete the deliverables. So now we have come to this high different leadership styles, then telling, selling, participating, and delegating. We have detailed the various leadership style like S1, S2, S3, S4, and even we have elaborated this in a picture style. So this is what about the style is. And last but not the least, thank you very much for listening this program, and will keep on sharing so many material on YouTube. I request all to please like and subscribe our channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.